What is going on, everybody? Talking back here with another video. And today, y'all damn well know I have been awaiting this day for a very, very long time. I've watched Bengal for a very long period of time, and I unsubscribed from him for a while now, but it's like ever since I started my own YouTube channel, it really was that franchise guy as well as Bengal who really made me want to do my own channel. Obviously, Bengal introducing me to TDN and everything. But you know what? Used to be a huge fan of Bengal. Recently, I think he's been a little bit dropped on his quality of content. However, you know what? I haven't watched him recently. I can't really make too much of an assumption now. I just got a little bit pissed off ever since he started doing his Giants fan reacts bullshit, which after doing YouTube for some time, I started realizing that, you know what, sometimes you have to have some catchy catchphrases for people to type in and get those YouTube clicks. But obviously, I've been awaiting this moment for a very long time. Let's see what the hell he's all about. And he just released this a couple days ago, so the draft order should be up to date. Let's have some fun, guys. Honestly, I'm not here to completely destroy Bengal. I'm here to actually give you a good commentary because this is Mock the Mock. And if obviously Broshmo comes on to here and says I stole his name, did not. That was one of my fans who's probably a subscriber to you, but I thought it was a great name. Whatever, guys. You guys know the deal. Let's kick into this. Bengal, let's see how good you are. Obviously, I could, of course, be wrong, but I get my information from you guys. I think I have a pretty damn good fan base. Starting off with the number one overall pick, we got T-Law. That's pretty damn standard fare. Do we even need to talk about this? Obviously, I haven't checked on when the new picks, like the new pick times are or anything, so might be skipping around, might be a little bit unprofessional that way. Sorry about that. But I want this actually to be like a first reaction. Zach Wilson, number 2. I assume there is trades. I'm pretty sure I saw it in the thumbnail that there was trades. So this one, you know what? If they don't trade out, I wouldn't blame them. You know, if I was honestly gonna be at this spot, I'd be down to Penny Sewell or trade out. And you know me, I love Zach Wilson. He's my QB2 for sure. I'm along with TFG and going after Zach Wilson as QB2. I think that he's pretty much the better Sam Darnold. He's what Sam Darnold should be. And I think he's what he will turn out to be, what Sam Darnold should have been in the NFL. So I can't really blame him for taking a franchise QB at 2. However, I think if they're able to get a shit ton of draft capital, maybe move back. If let's just say hypothetically, it ain't gonna happen. But the Falcons want to jump to 2 and get Zach Wilson, they can do that and then somehow get a tackle like Penei Sewell. I don't think it's gonna be realistic, but can't shame this pick whatsoever. Again, I think that there could be some good values. I see a trade up, and it is the Panthers trading up to probably select Justin Fields with of course, the title of the video being the fact that there are 4 straight quarterbacks, which you already know I'm not going to like the next pick. But, I can't shame this too much. It depends on what the Dolphins get. But I think the Dolphins should get Penny Sewell at that point. Yeah, it does depend on how much draft capital they got, and I'm not going to go back and review the tape as I'm like slowly doing that right now. But we're gonna check it. So it is gonna be a first and a fourth for the whack. Okay, so that's not very realistic whatsoever. He might have done a first next year as well in the fourth. That one I didn't check out, but it didn't look like that from the trade simulator. Doesn't really matter, but I think honestly I would take Penny Sewell there if I were the Dolphins. And you know what? Because Tua had an all-star line. We're seeing obviously Alex Leatherwood, Deontay Brown coming out. Yes, not to mention Landon Dickerson. There has been some really good offensive linemen there, and being able to surround Tua as he continues to nurse the health with Penny Sewell. You guys got rid of Laramie Tunsil for this pick pretty much, and then a couple others. Get Laramie Tunsil 2.0. Again, for the Panthers, not a bad choice, especially if you're able to do it for a first and a fourth, which, again, if it's 2 firsts and a fourth, wouldn't even mind that either. Just Justin Fields, this is the perfect spot for him to learn. Honestly, it's the perfect spot for him to learn from a guy like Teddy. There's the pick. We have Trey Lance. This is the one where obviously I'm going to have an issue with it. I don't think Trey Lance is worth a top 15 pick. He is super raw. He's if you guys watched RJ Gillen, the head 49er scout coming onto the channel, he had big issues with Trey Lance as well. Some of you guys are like, oh, well, why would a 49er scout actually tell you what they think? RJ and I are actually really good friends, and obviously he told me what was off limits. So he's not going to be bullshitting people. He's not purposely trying to mislead anybody. He's just giving his honest opinion. He's not the only one who is the decision maker there. There's a lot of people there. So obviously he's not going to bullshit you guys with his opinion. I'm not going to bullshit you guys either. Trey Lance is super raw, super duper raw. This might be a really good landing spot for him in the long term, but I'm not really sure if it's the right pick. You have guys like Julio Jones, who I honestly think should either be traded or retire, and Matt Ryan, who can probably use their talents better elsewhere. I think that Trey Lance, I guess it's a good spot for him to grow, but again, you don't take quarterback 4 at 4. That's a waste of the pick. If you want to trade back and get Trey Lance, but just get some good value for the pick, man. There's still some really talented dudes like Penny Sewell on the board that there are teams, like even the Lions. I know they shouldn't do this, but the Lions, if it's at pick 4 and Penny Sewell's still there, I would consider trading up because we already seen how Matt Stafford's ribs are doing thanks to them trying to get after Vitae and stuff and completely busting. But there's a lot of different routes that I would go if I were the Falcons. Obviously, I'd probably go Micah Parsons because I need an edge player, and I think he's edge 1 as well as linebacker 1. So I love Micah Parsons. So that might be because I'm biased, but Penny Sewell next pick, can't blame it whatsoever. It's great pick. Jamar Chase to the Eagles, again, a great pick. Right now, I don't really have too many problems except for pick number 4 for Bengals. So we'll see exactly what happens as the draft develops. At this spot, Devontae Smith, 100% agree. For once, actually, I think Bengal did a pretty shitty job on one of his mocks, but he's doing a really good job on this one. Obviously, I'm not going to agree with every pick. I think this one's a big bust pick, but we've seen Mel Kiper, Daniel Jeremiah. This is a pretty damn good job by Bengal so far. I will give him some credit, and you guys know I would love to not give him any credit. Next, we got Jalen Waddle. That's something I do have quite a bit of a problem with. You do have Micah Parsons still on the board, man. I'm telling you, if you get Micah at 8, that would be insane value. He's gonna be a true captain. They love their Jerome Baker there. They're trying to get another Raekwon McMillan, and you can get one with even better pass rush moves like that. I think that it's too good of a value to pass on Micah Parsons. Sneaky pick could be a Christian Darrisaw, but I'm not 100% a fan of that. If there is a Micah Parsons on the board, I rock Micah Parsons there. Jalen Waddle is a true stud, but again, I think Lynn Bowden takes the Jalen Waddle spot and is 70% of what Jalen Waddle could be. I think they probably need to boost that outside a little bit more, but still, can't really blame him whatsoever. Hopefully, Bengal comes and watches this, and as much hate as I would love to throw at Bengal, you know what? He's been doing a really fucking good job because the next pick is perfect too. Caleb Farley. I haven't listened to his commentary either, so obviously I'm gonna listen to it after this. I might put in a little note here or there, to just say hey, by the way, his commentary is pretty fucking good. But you know what? He's doing it pretty good. Oh, really, why, bro? I was just giving him credit. You guys know how much I love to rip a new one to Bengal, but damn, why though? This one I'm gonna have to listen to his commentary, but shit, dude, that's just there's no reason. If you guys have a guy like Patrick Surtain on board, I know Cowboys are known for running the ball, having first round linemen. 100% agree with that. But you have guys in there like Biadasz, pretty damn good pick in the 4th round last year. You have Zach Martin there. You still have Tyron Smith. I know these guys are injury prone. Definitely don't get me wrong. The right tackle is pretty solid. I'm bugging on his name right now. Connor Williams, solid. When their line is at full health, they're great. I don't think it's time to start looking to move on from any of those guys. They're still under contract for a bit. Rashawn Slater is a great player. But again, if the Cowboys want to be winning now, you either go after Micah Parsons and add some edge presence, which again, they're 4-3. They don't need that. They could use him, but I don't support that. You have Patrick Surtain on the board, and you're losing 4 corners. If you're able to get the Trayvon Diggs Surtain connection again, it's instant chemistry. I hate this pick to the Cowboys unless they're trading away Zach Martin to try to get Deshaun Watson. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine if they tagged and trade Dak Prescott and trade Zach Martin away to be able to get Deshaun Watson? That'd be just so funny. I don't know why that just popped in my head, but again, Rashawn Slater, I can't stand that pick, but I know a lot of people are doing it. So I'm not going to shame Bengal for doing it because he's probably following other people's who are very smart in their footsteps, but I seriously just can't handle it. Next, Micah Parsons. That'd be a dream pick. I swear to God, Bengal did this just to get Micah Parsons to the Giants. But hey, that's a Giants fan's wet dream. That's absolutely wonderful. You get pass rush and another linebacker to add to Blake Martinez. That'd be absolutely wonderful. I would love that. That would just be great for you guys. I don't see it happening, but you know what? If it happens, that's beautiful. That's a great pick. Patrick Surtain to the 49ers. I don't know. Maybe he has some 49ers fans in his comments because I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you guys scare me. You 49ers fans, you scare me into wanting to like let JC Horn fall to you. Yeah, Patrick Surtain's a really good pick there, especially if he is there. Again, he shouldn't be because Rashawn Slater. If we're gonna be honest, swap the two, or else go JC Horn at this spot, and that'd be great. But obviously, I'm gonna drop a little bit of a hint right now. We are going to be doing another. We're gonna be doing another set. What? No, we're not doing 7 rounds. That would be insane. We're gonna do another 5 round mock just for you guys, because then it'll drag us into Saturday. Because we have, as you guys know, we have the interview with the Houston Texans president tomorrow. No, I thought it was Sunday. On Monday at 5 p.m. Central Time. So obviously that's a huge video going to be coming up on Tuesday. I want to make sure it's fully edited, looking beautiful for you guys. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited for it. I hope I don't get my hopes up too much, and then it turns out that he just doesn't know anything about the organization, which of course he should. He's worked with them for 21 years. But it's insane. I don't understand how this happened, but I'm very grateful for it. So we'll see how that turns out. Christian Darrisaw, another beautiful pick by Bengal. That's absolutely wonderful. I'm very, very happy that I decided to do that. This one, okay, I absolutely despise this pick, but honestly, Bengal's hitting a lot more than he's missing. Davion Nixon out of Iowa, he is a really talented dude. Would not shame the Vikings for doing it, but with the guys on the board, you still could get a Kwity Paye. You still could get even a Kyle Pitts, because I know they were scouting him. I don't think that's going to be the right pick, but I'm just saying if they wanted to go that route, there's still some really high talented dudes on the board. Again, they could go guard as well with AVT, or of course you could trade back, get a Wyatt Davis as well. I think this is a great spot for a trade back. I know you Vikings fans hate it because you guys already have 4 fourth-round picks, but legitimately, I think honestly, if you guys wanted to, you could trade back with your first and add in a fourth and get like maybe a first and a second, or maybe a first and a third, and maybe a fifth. I don't know. But I think honestly, this is just a good spot for a trade back for teams that want some dudes on the board, because there's a lot of options that fit you. Davion Nixon, with how deep the defensive line class is, defensive line as in the interior defensive line, I'm not a huge fan of it. Davion Nixon was a really good talent though, so I wouldn't really kill him. Kyle Pitts, of course, you already know how much I love doing that pick as well. That's just, it's too good to happen, and it's not going to happen, but it did happen. JC Horn to the Cardinals, that's a dream, obviously. Don't think it's going to happen due to the fact that the Cowboys are kind of in the way with not Christian Darrisaw. Oh my God. With Rashawn Slater. But I mean, hey, if it happens, it happens. Realistically, I could trade back with the Cardinals and go after Asante Samuel Jr. Wouldn't be a bad pick whatsoever. Although it would kind of oversaturate their corner core with 5'10", 5'9" guys. That might be a problem, but we can address that another time. Let's see what the hell the next pick is. We got Gregory Rousseau. I mean, you guys have seen me do that pick as well. I was down to Rousseau or Osai last time I did my 7-round mock with the Raiders, which is only a couple days ago. And I chose Osai just because he's more ready right now. Gregory Rousseau has a shit ton more ceiling. But to be fair, I think that they need to get day one impact, because this team is pretty well built for the playoffs. It is surprising, but like with adding Tyrell Williams back, bringing the line back to full health, because Rich Incognito, I believe, is still there for another year. Even if he gets like retired, because I know he got his ACL. Was it ACL or Achilles torn? He got very badly injured this year. I think even if he comes back at 70% of himself, it's gonna be okay. Gregory Rousseau's a beast, though. Obviously, I'm not gonna totally shame them for doing that. He is just super young, super raw. And honestly, he's the same age as Joseph Asai. So I would probably stick Joseph Asai there. But next, Travis Etienne. This one I'm going to totally disagree with. The entire offensive line was below 60 PFF grade this year. You still have guys on the board like Samuel Cosme. You still have guys like Elijah Vera Tucker on the board that could go pretty much everywhere. Creed Humphrey as well. And there are guys like Zaven Collins, JOK, if you want to be putting him as like a linebacker safety hybrid, that'd be wonderful. But I don't think Travis Etienne's really worth this pick right now, especially with seeing how he played against Notre Dame. Not a huge fan of that whatsoever. Mac Jones is this pick to Washington. Honestly, I can't blame it too much. Mac Jones has been doing a pretty good job. I don't feel comfortable taking him in the first, but with a team that it's kind of weird to say, but is Super Bowl almost ready. With Washington, you get one good quarterback. You saw what they could do with Alex Smith and Taylor Heineke. Mac Jones could step in, really high character guy. He's not going to be a bitch in the locker room. If you use him properly, and use him in the Alex Smith role, you have some really good targets that can get open. Get him one more weapon in the second, get him a safety in the third. This team's built, fully built from like front to back, very well built. Maybe get a cornerback in there as well. They have cap space as well. If you have Mac Jones there and then you're not paying $20 million a year to Alex Smith, that team could be a legitimate year-to-year contender. You have an insane defensive front. Your defense in general is really solid. Your offensive line is going to be at least really good for one more year. Mac Jones is going to be a guy who could not lose you games. That's going to be pretty damn solid. I can't shame it too much. I don't think it's worth a first-round pick. But then again, you guys just heard what I said. They're built now. Rashad Bateman to the Bears. He is the next Allen Robinson, arguably. So I can't shame it too much. But, dude, we need to get that tackle help badly. There are still guys like Jalen Mayfield on the board. There are guys like Tevin Jenkins still on the board. If you want a guy with some more experience, go Tevin Jenkins here. Rashad Bateman, again, it's not a bad pick. Again, all this depends on whether Era 12 comes back, but it's not a great pick either. Next, Samuel Cosmi. Honestly, can't blame it whatsoever. I love that pick. You know me, I love my Samuel Cosmi. He is arguably my number 3 tackle in the class. Yeah. So he's a really, really good player. Good for both the run and the pass game, which is something that Indianapolis prides itself both on. They're a really well-balanced offense under Frank Reich. I think Samuel Cosmi is a perfect fit for that. We got to see how he tests and everything, but I love that pick. Love the pick a lot. Let's see what the hell. Joseph Asai, you guys already know. I love doing that for you guys, but the more I think about it, I think this would be a good trade back spot to get Aziz later on. You guys do have some other line issues and obviously cap issues with wide receivers. So there's a lot of guys you might be losing. You guys might want to have some extra firepower in this or next year's draft. Maybe Joseph Asai might be a very attractive prospect. Obviously, there's still Kwity Paye on the board, which we're not going to address that yet. But obviously, a team like the Dolphins could have gotten that as well. But Joseph Asai is a really good prospect. I think that Aziz, if you trade back, can have the same, if not better, impact. And you can have some extra firepower to fix up the line, be able to get some extra wide receivers like a Seth Williams later on. Lots of stuff like that. Let's see what the hell the Jets are up to. Jets get Eric Stokes here. I can't blame it, but there are some guys on the board. Honestly, this is a perfect spot for Kwity Paye. I know they do need a cornerback desperately, cornerback 2, because obviously Brian Poole is going to be a solid slot corner for them. But again, Eric Stokes, realistically, you could wait to the top of the second for it and get a guy similar in stature to Asante Samuel Jr. If you get Kwity Paye at that spot, yes. It's a really good value. Jalen Mayfield to the Steelers. It depends on what the Steelers want. Jalen Mayfield's an absolute stud. I would never be pissed off at it whatsoever. But if the Steelers genuinely believe, like, hey, honestly, we can probably win the Super Bowl, then I'd be going for a guy like Eichenberg, who is older, more polished, ready. Tevin Jenkins. Jalen Mayfield is the guy with arguably the highest ceiling, apart from Penei Sewell and Christian Darrisaw in the draft. We've just seen he's a redshirt sophomore, if I'm not mistaken, who is an absolute stud, but he's not as pro ready as a guy like Eichenberg or Tevin Jenkins is. So we got to filter that into there. But if they go to Jalen Mayfield, I think we know exactly what the Steelers are preparing to do. They're preparing to reload the roster and be able to make a bounce back in a year or two versus go for the Super Bowl this year. That's something that, honestly, I fully support it. But again, it's up in the air. Next, Eichenberg to the Jags. Can't really blame it at all. I love the idea of adding another tackle there. So, yeah, not really much I got to say about that, especially with the way Alex Leatherwood's been playing. 100% support it. JOK to the Browns. Honestly, they do need a slot corner anyways. So they do need slot corner, safety, and linebacker. So I guess JOK can fill all of that. I'm not too confident that the defensive coordinator for the Browns can actually use him properly. Realistically, I would love for a team like the Jags to be like, shit, we lost a lot of these tackle talents, and we could probably get them at the top of the second or something. Let's trade back heavily with a team like the Broncos who can move up to get JOK. Can you imagine? The Broncos would probably be almost playoff ready if they could get JOK and Caleb Farley in there and then maybe get a free agent quarterback. that would be pretty damn good. So, it's a weird idea, but I'm just throwing it out there. There are still guys like Leatherwood that they will be able to pick up there, especially with how he's been playing in the Senior Bowl. So, just an idea to throw out. But then again, JOK is still really solid. I would go Zaven Collins here. Could he pay to the Ravens? If he's here, obviously that's freaking amazing. He won't be, but that'd be amazing. Honestly, I'm very happy with how Bengals conducted himself this draft. Obviously, Zaven Collins the next pick. That's absolutely wonderful. Him and Quan Alexander would be a great pair, especially with Demario Davis becoming older. Obviously, I'm actually very surprised and very pleased with how Bengals has done this draft. I've seen some really shitty drafts, done mock on a lot of shitty drafts, and very pleased. Greg Newsome here. This one's a little bit more of a head scratcher. There are guys like Nick Bolton on the board, and obviously I think there's some better corners still on the board. Asante Samuel Jr. in particular. Greg Newsome's not bad though. Honestly, I can't shame it too much. We could see, it's kind of, I hate to say it, but Aaron Robinson at a UCF, he plays a really good ball. If we're gonna be honest here, if I were the Packers, I'd be going after a guy like Terrace Marshall, and then in the third round, target a guy like Keith Taylor. Keith Taylor's looking really good in the Senior Bowl, and that's somebody who I'd probably target more than a guy like Greg Newsome. If you're able to get Terrace Marshall, let's just assume Nick Bolton in the second, and then you can get Keith Taylor in the third. I think that would be a really good haul, and then maybe you can get some like tackle like Josh Ball in the fourth or something. But honestly, cornerback is a big need, especially with, I believe, Kevin King leaving. So can't shame it too much. We'll see what happens with these next picks to see what's up. Nick Bolton to the Bills. I'm fine with it. I think, honestly, they could be rebolstering their offensive line because you know how much they like to run the damn ball. And then, obviously, their offense is surprisingly becoming more of the theme of the Bills. I don't think linebacker's the biggest need, even though TDN likes to say it is. I don't really think that is the biggest need right at the moment. Nick Bolton's solid. I just did a report on him. Of course, if you guys want to see that, look at my Twitter, or else you can look at Primetime Sports Talk, where I do all my drafting reports. Nick Bolton's pretty damn solid. He just has some really head-scratching plays. Bills will probably get the max value out of him, so I won't really blame him too much. But again, I don't think maybe he should be worth that first. I have more as a mid to early second. Obviously, it skipped. We got AVT as the last pick and Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's just a really cocky luxury pick. They gotta go. They gotta go defensive line on that. You're losing $30 million worth of defensive linemen right there. And of course, Ndamukong Suh and why am I thinking Shelby Harris? Shaquille Barrett. It's you gotta go defensive line on that one. You got Azeez Ojulari on the board. Obviously he's not gonna be as big of an impact day one as maybe a Quincy Roche, but obviously this is a problem with one-round mocks, is that you don't know how they're going to develop the draft any further. Not a huge fan of Kadarius Toney being there, though, even though Kadarius Toney's playing pretty damn well. Has some drop issues. That's what I've seen at Senior Bowl, has some big drop issues, but very talented player. And AVT, you already know how much I love to get AVT for the Chiefs, or anybody who's going to be on that damn offensive line. 100% respect this. This draft could have been so much worse, and I was expecting so much worse. But you know what, Bengal, you surprised. You surprised. This is easily the best mock I have ever mocked the mock on. So, with all due respect, Bengal, I'm gonna give you this one. Good fucking job. I'm gonna give you an A- on this one. Some very big head scratching ones, but obviously they have some reasoning behind them. There was nothing where it was like absolutely stupid. Obviously, the Cowboys pick was kind of dumb. But, everybody's doing it at this point. I mean, the Cowboys, we've already seen them do it a lot, so can't really blame them too much. But, I mean, that and the Falcons pick were the only two where I was, really, what the fucking on. Obviously, I would rather have some picks for a lot of different ones. But with the fact that you're not me, this is a pretty good one. I'm going to give it an A-. Good job. Good job, Bengal. So let me know what you guys think. Bengal, drop a comment if you actually even do watch this video. You probably won't. But, hey, guys, if you guys want to, add him enough to where he realizes it, go for it. I'll see you on the far side of those guys. Peace.